Hey, how's it going, guys? This is gonna be a quick look at my Smith& Wesson Model 49 no dash. This one's an old school one, made back in 1965. So this has some years on it, but it's still kicking, and in some ways, it's even better than the newer production Smith& Wesson J frames. There's some disadvantages, there's some advantages, obviously, in between these two guns. Um, I usually don't like to overlap my guns. You know, these are pretty much similar guns used for the similar situations. There's not too much difference besides this one actually shoots 357, um, and this one doesn't. This one only shoots 38 special, and I've done some reading on the internet, the interweb, and yes, you can shoot plus P out of here. It's not recommended to do it time after time after time, but I do load it up with plus P ammo for defensive purposes. But whenever I'm at the range, I just shoot 38 special, and it's this gun is 20 ounces, 20.5 ounces, so um, it can handle the 38 special with not a lot of kick. Um, Unlike 357, that's pretty snappy out of these smaller 2-inch revolvers. Um, the main reason why I picked this gun up is because it has a couple features that I like that this gun does not have. Like I said, this is the newer model. I really don't like the newer model cylinder release. This is changed out, so I fixed that problem. I really don't like that it has the lock, so I can't do anything about that. That's in the gun. I guess there is actually templates that you can take the lock out and replace it with just a steel slab or stainless steel slab. A lot of times when I was carrying this, sitting down, this little hammer would get into my my love handles, my chub, and yeah, I really didn't like that. So this actually is shrouded. The hammer shrouded. You still have the option, single action and double action and all that. It operates the same. You don't have any operation advantages with this gun. But you do with this gun because this hammer is not going to get in the way. Um, which I've never really had any big issues with this hammer getting in the way. Besides, like I said, it's a little uncomfortable. You can pop this in the pocket and you have a better shot of connecting with the firing pin than this one with the hammer can obviously get caught, in something in your pocket and cause it not to fire. Just so you guys know, they're not loaded. This one actually is loaded, but it's loaded with dummy rounds, little snap caps. Um, the lockup on this old school Smith & Wesson is tighter than this one. I don't know if it's because I shot too many rounds out of this 357. I don't know if it's because I carried this way too many times in the Uncle Mike's holster, and I do believe that's going to loosen it up more eventually, just because you're going to have play right there, but maybe that's another video. Um, when I purchased this, it did have some minor surface rust, not a lot, just some here and there. Some dry steel wool just kept the surface clean of the rust. You just kept on using new, really fine dry wool, and it cleaned it up very well. There's no permanent damage besides here. There's some very small pitting. My camera is not any good, so I don't want to really spend too much time trying to show it to you, but you can kind of see it, I believe. So it brought the value of the gun down a little bit, and was also a friend, so I was able to even talk him even out of more gun or out of more of value. So I ended up picking it for 200. I wouldn't imagine too many people would be able to find this gun for that price, but I could imagine, finding it for about 300, 350. Maybe a newer model without the pinned barrel. A lot of Smith and Wesson collectors really look forward to having the pinned barrel. The MIM hammer and the trigger on the newer ones, I believe that's like metal injected, and it can be brittle and snap off without any warnings. That's another reason why I kind of trust this one a little bit more for longevity. This is actually forged hammer and trigger, obviously. So the parts in this is actually they took more care in hand crafting. These ones are all mainly machine made. So the quality in these older Smiths are just a little better. Really wish that this shot 357, but hey, out of these 2-inch barrels, it's not much of a difference. I just like more capabilities. Options are always great. As far as the sights go on this, I prefer these sights actually. They're actually really hard to acquire in low light, but if the lighting's right, I'm definitely more accurate with this. The sights are a lot more finer. The blade on these newer ones just they're fatter. Let's see, this is gonna be extremely difficult. You might be able to get a little bit of a view, but just me personally, I am definitely more accurate with the 49 than the newer, fatter front blade, and then obviously you have to make up with the fatter notch in the back. I do like how the barrel tapers down like that. I think that's kind of sexy. When I was first into revolvers, I really didn't like the no shroud right here. But as I've been looking and holding and liking revolvers, that's actually kind of cool to me. I do like the full shroud, even better than like the half shrouds that they have on like the 66 and the 19s. I prefer the 686, just the full shroud. Does make the gun a little heavier, but it does make it look sexier, and that's always cool. Locked up and it's just extremely tight. There's virtually no movement in that. I do have some movement here on this Model 60, but it's very minimal. It's not an issue yet. But this one's probably been used and abused a little bit more than this one, and it's locked up tighter. So that just goes to show you how well they used to make their guns back in the 1960s. I believe I told you this was manufactured in 1965, and 50 years ago almost. This gun's made 40 years apart, and it's even holding up better. So yes, I fell in love with this gun. It's a little 5-shot pocket gun. It's a little heavy to put it in your pocket. They do make these models in titanium and stainless steel. It's a perfect little carry gun. I'm gonna take it backpacking too with me. Just I don't know. I'm sorry. This was my baby. She's been spending a little bit more time at home, and I guess that's not a bad thing, The wear and tear is just gonna be less on this one. I'll be able to baby this one a little bit longer. This one I paid so little for it that it's worth more than I paid, but still, if I am out this gun one time, if something happens to this gun, I'm only out $200. It'd be sad, but it's whatever. $200. I'll cry about it and get over it. I do not like these grips. Uh, I don't want to keep on trading the Crimson Trace. I do really love these grips, but I put on the old Ladysmith. This is actually a Ladysmith. I put on the old Ladysmith grips on this gun, and these are actually second best to this grip. I actually can get my pinky on it. It's fairly thin, and it actually points really nice with this gun. It points perfect. Speaking of pointing, how I hold this gun, because of this hump, actually gets my web closer to the bore, you know, so it's not holding so high like on this one. This one actually, the grips even make me hold it way lower, so this gun actually snaps and rolls in my hand a lot more than this one does. Even when I'm shooting just regular 38 specials, it doesn't roll as much, and maybe that also aids me in my accuracy. I'm not sure. Just the way I hold this gun and with these grips. I've never actually shot with these grips. They seem like they'd be uncomfortable to shoot with. But these are actually the original grips. They're a little beat up on the back here, but like I said, I didn't buy this gun for to make any money off of it or anything. It's just a very good value, $200. I'd imagine someone paying $350 for it, and this gun will be able to pass down to the next generation, and I love it. Maybe you should look into getting one of these things, especially if you're having problems with this hammer. Like I said, I hardly ever have problems with it, but there was some times that this would bug me. But I do end up carrying this more often if I'm doing a little bit more heavy activities, just because of the stainless steel, and body sweat's pretty corrosive on these blue guns. Gotta keep them oiled, especially now that it's already been tainted with rust, with cancer. But I took care of that problem, and hopefully this gun will last me for years and years to come. Thanks for watching my video. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.